Hey there, welcome to LC Yoga. My name is Laura, and today we're doing a quick yoga reset, a rest and restore practice, but in a short amount of time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're only doing about 5 poses today, and we're going to begin in baddha konasana, or butterfly. So bring the bottoms of your feet together, knees go out to the side. And we're going to make it a long-legged butterfly. So kind of scoot the feet a little bit away from the hips to where it's comfortable. Maybe sitting up on something if that helps you tilt forward. And you can bring the fingertips behind and just start to press the chest forward and lean into it. So we're not working on getting our nose to our toes, but more the chest toward the front of the mat or whatever it is you may be sitting on. And we're going to stay here for a few minutes. This is a yin practice, so we're going to do some long held poses. Just letting our connective tissues and muscles release. So close the eyes here and start to deepen the breath. Maybe bringing the hands out in front of you if the body lets you in. As you breathe deep, start to let gravity do its job. Deep, slow breaths. Find that edge, that place where you feel a sensation, but it's not uncomfortable, not not painful at all. Just a little bit of a challenge. Those sensations may be in your hips, your outer thighs, your inner thighs. And wherever you feel the strongest sensation, breathe into that. Breaths here and butterfly. Just resetting your nervous system to calm. Now walking the hands up, bring your hands behind you and place your feet about the width of a yoga mat. And start to windshield wipe the knees from side to side. And just counterposing what we just did. And then start to bring your legs into a V shape. And we'll take a wide-legged forward fold. And again, we're doing this in more of a yin way. So there's no need to take the widest stance. We're really just looking for a nice stretch. Maybe place something under the knees or keep them bent if that helps you feel more comfortable in this pose. And your feet can be as close together or as far apart as you like. Again, place your fingertips behind and start to press the chest forward. And what that does is sort of roll you onto the front of your pelvis. And that's where you want to be. Just let the legs get long and stretch. And maybe your hands come out in front of you. Again, closing the eyes and start to let gravity do its thing. It's the chest that's going forward, so we're not trying to flop down. We're trying to press the chest forward and the hips back, and that's where that great stretch is. A couple more minutes here. So just leaning into this, letting the legs open, keeping the knees as bent as they need to be. And maybe it's your hands out in front of you. If your body lets you in and your edge moves, you can walk your hands further out. closing our eyes helps us be more mindful and not shoot for a shape, but more of a feeling. And as your edge moves, you may move those hands out in front a little more. Maybe your elbows come to the ground. You can also have a cushion here out in front of you and lean onto that. Few more big breaths here. And let each breath take you deeper into the pose. Start to walk the hands back up. And grab the backs of the knees and start to draw them in toward each other. And you probably feel a little creaky after that. That's okay, that's what's supposed to happen. So again, we'll windshield wipe the knees just to inwardly rotate and reverse what we just did. When those connective tissues get stretched, they take a minute to go back. But what we're doing is causing a little bit of stress to those tissues in a good way so that they can become more supple, which is super important, especially as we age. All right, then we're gonna roll, just cross your legs and roll on over onto your belly. We'll grab a sphinx pose. So bring your elbows under your shoulders. And again, use cushions or blocks as you see fit here. If this doesn't feel like much, you may want to come up higher, in which case you can put a cushion under your elbows. If this feels like too much of a back bend, you may want to come down, stacking your fists and resting your forehead. If you never do back bends, just lying on your stomach can feel like a back bend, so you may just want to lie flat. Completely okay. We're just trying to get a nice little curve in that lower back, a healthy, safe compression. And in Sphinx pose, we're going to press the chest through the shoulders, just gently. No big muscular action here. If you want to sink down between the shoulders, you can do that. It gives those shoulders a little stretch too. There should be no crunching in that lower back. If you feel that at all, come back up out of it. And again, close the eyes and just breathe here. Not just trying to compress the lower back, we're also stretching the front body, something we don't get enough of, and that's why back bends are important. It really doesn't have as much to do with the back as it does the front, because we spend so much time sitting and crunching forward, our back actually gets overstretched and the front gets overcompressed, and so that's what causes a lot of our back pain. So when we reverse that on a regular basis and stretch the front, it corrects the posture and relieves a lot of back pain. But we have to be gentle about it. A couple more breaths here. And then start to lower down wherever you are. Stack your palms and rest your forehead. Maybe wiggle the hips a little, just to release that. And then press your hands into the ground and lift the hips and sit back on the heels for a nice little child's pose, just to counter stretch that. And again, you can reach your arms out in front of you here, or you can stack your fists and rest your forehead. Just letting the back release.
Knees can be wide or together.
And then walk the hands forward, lift the hips so you're in hands and knees, and then walk your knees forward and come into a seated position. Our last couple of poses are going to be double pigeon. So here you have a few options. Double pigeon, we're going to flex our feet and stack ankles and knees. Now, if you're not feeling very open, you may want to kind of make more of a figure 4 shape and stick your bottom leg out. Your left foot is on the bottom, right on the top. So if your bottom knee doesn't feel great, left foot stretches out, you're going to flex your right foot and maybe hold on to your right knee. And you're just going to start to press the chest forward and get into those hips. If you're stacking ankles and knees, you may want to put something in between your right knee and the left ankle if that knee is floating. So find the modification that works for you and then press your fingertips behind you and chest goes forward, just like every other forward fold. We're not muscularly warmed up here, so we're not trying to get into the deepest expression of this pose. We're just trying to find that nice stretch. Close the eyes, and as your chest goes forward, let the hips go back behind you. And let the breath open you up. Let gravity do its thing. If your body lets you in, maybe your hands come forward. A few more breaths here. And then coming up, bring your hands behind you and windshield wipe your knees. Back and forth. Just reversing that a couple of times. And then switch to the other side. So if you had your left foot sticking straight out, you might want to do that with your right. Make that figure 4 shape and start to lean forward. Flexing both feet, pressing that chest. If you're stacking ankles and knees, again, flex those feet, fingertips behind, and start to lean in. Close the eyes and feel where you are in this pose. Not where you want to be, but where you are. And notice how your hips are different. My left side is always tighter than my right, so I have to be very mindful of how I enter poses and make sure I'm doing the right thing for each part of the body. Big long breaths. A few more breaths here, make them count. Hips go back. Maybe using the hands even to press those hips back. And then hands go behind. Again, windshield wipe those legs. Just to release that. Maybe even stretch your feet out and just shake your legs up. Roll down onto your back. And we'll take a little savasana just to let all that settle in. So feet go wide, hands go wide, palms up to the sky. Snuggle those shoulders in, get comfortable. Take a deep inhale through the nose, filling your abdomen, your chest, all the way up into your shoulders. And then exhale all that out through an open mouth. Now take this time in Shavasana just to let go, knowing you have nowhere to go and nothing to do for this last moment. Just be here now. Belly rising with your inhales and falling with your exhales. And when you're ready, bring your bottoms of your feet to the ground, knees up toward the sky, hands to the upper thighs. Draw your knees in toward the chest, wrap your arms around them, give them a little squeeze. And then make your way on up to sit. And we'll take just this last moment here to close it out. Bring the backs of the hands to the knees, close the eyes. Let the thumb and the forefingers touch. What a difference. Short practice, feeling reset. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed today's class. And if you did, please consider subscribing and maybe throw me a comment on this video and tell me what you thought. And if you check out the For You section of my channel page, you're probably going to find another video that you like if you liked this one. If you're a beginner, look for the beginner series. That's one of my playlists that you'll find also on my channel. And if you're not a beginner, if you've been doing yoga for a while, you're going to find lots of stuff here that will take you from fitness to relaxation and everything in between. So I hope to see you again. Thanks so much.